Hey everyone, welcome to Breathe and Unpack. I'm Maya, and this is our space to slow down, breathe, and talk honestly about the things life throws at us. Here, nothing is off limits. Relationships, family, work, stress, and personal struggles. Sometimes we'll vent, sometimes we'll reflect, but every time we'll ask, what can I take away from this? You're not just listeners, you're part of our support system. That means we share, we listen, we learn, and we leave the judgment at the door. And if you need to cry or get emotional here, that's okay too. This space is built for honesty. If you've got a story you want to share or something you're unpacking in your own life, email me at breathe, the letter N, unpack at gmail.com. That's breathe and unpack at gmail.com. I might read it here on the show so we can all grow together. And just a quick note, this podcast is about personal opinions and experiences. It's not medical, legal, or therapeutic advice. So take a breath, lean in, and let's unpack life together. Welcome to the support system. As always, we're just exploring here, breathing through what comes up and unpacking it gently at our own pace. Let's take a moment to breathe, settle in, and slowly unpack whatever is unfolding for us today. So let's talk about it. When the energy changes. I feel like this happens to all of us in different ways and in different areas of our life. Friendships, family, relationships, work, even places you go. And the thing is, energy doesn't always change in a loud way. It's not always an argument. It's not always drama. It's not always somebody doing something wrong. Sometimes it's just something feels different and you don't even know how to explain it, but you just feel it. For me, energy is just a gut feeling. It's that feeling in your body when something feels off, even if you can't explain it yet. Like nothing even has to happen, you just feel it. And it's not always about being negative, it's just your body's being aware. And I think that's important to say because people hear the word energy and they think it's got to be this deep spiritual thing. But really, it's awareness. Your body picks up on things before your brain finishes processing. Like the vibe is weird, but you can't point to one moment. It's not one big thing, it's small things stacking up. Sometimes you notice it when you don't feel as comfortable speaking freely anymore, or you start thinking twice before you say something. Not because you're being fake, but because you're not sure how it's going to be received. Or you notice you're not being yourself all the way. And that's usually when you should start asking yourself, what changed? Because sometimes it's not even that someone became a bad person. It's just that y'all don't want the same things anymore. You don't connect the same. The seasons is different. And sometimes it's not even about them. Sometimes it's just not where you want to be anymore. Your time in that space, that circle, that routine, that dynamic, it's just done. Not in a dramatic way, just done. And the older I get, the more I realize not everything is meant to stay. Some people stay for a lifetime. Some people stay for a chapter. Some people stay long enough to teach you something. Then life moves. Now, I also want to say this because this part matters. Sometimes we say the energy feels off and it's not actually the energy, it might be anxiety. Sometimes your nervous system is already on high alert, so everything feels weird, everything feels heavy, everything feels like it has a meaning. That's why it's important to slow down and check in with yourself before you assume something. Like, am I picking up on a real change? Or am I overwhelmed? Am I stressed? Am I tired? Am I overthinking? Because anxiety can make you interpret things as rejection when it's not even that. So that's one thing I'm always trying to remind myself. Don't jump to conclusion, pay attention first. I'm an overthinker, so that matters a lot to me. And I feel like social media play a big role in this too. Sometimes your energy feels off, but it's not your real life. It's what you've been consuming. Scrolling can mess with your head without you realizing it. One minute you're fine. Next minute you're comparing. Next minute you're questioning yourself. Next minute you're irritated. Next minute you feel behind. And that's why people say protect what you let into your mind. Because your brain doesn't always separate digital stress from real stress. Your body reacts the same. So even if nothing is wrong, you can feel off. That's why sometimes the best thing you can do is log off, reset, and come back to yourself. Another place energy changes that people don't talk about enough is texting. Texting is tricky. A message can get misunderstood so fast. Sometimes it's not shade, sometimes it's not attitude. Sometimes it's literally just tone getting lost. Some people text dry on purpose. Some people text dry because they're busy. Some people just don't like typing. And some people are going through things and don't even realize how they're coming off. So I'm not saying every short text means the vibe is off. But I will say, there are times you can feel when something shifted. Like when somebody used to talk to you pretty often, and now they don't. Or y'all used to be close and now it feels distant for no reason. Or you're always the one checking in. Or communication start feeling one-sided. Or you notice you're always trying to figure them out instead of feeling secure. And that's when you have to pause and ask yourself, is this really an energy shift? Or am I assuming because it's through a screen? Because sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is not jump to conclusions. Just pay attention, give it time, and watch for patterns instead of one message. So here's what I've learned. A misread text is usually just one moment. One dry response, one short answer, one day where they're not really talking. But a real energy change starts to look like a pattern. It's not just the text, it's the distance. Like, you're always doing reaching out. The effort feels uneven. They stop checking in the way they used to. You feel like you're forcing the connection. You start feeling anxious more than you feel safe. That's usually when people start saying something feels off. Because it's not about the one message. It's the overall vibe of the connection. And that's why I always tell myself, don't react to moments, pay attention to patterns. Because texting can be misleading, but patterns don't lie. And I feel like overall, when the energy changes, it's not always something to panic about. Sometimes it's not a warning. Sometimes it's just information. It's your body telling you pay attention. It's your mind telling you check in. It's life showing you what's aligned and what's not. And if you're in a season where you feel the energy changing in multiple areas, don't feel crazy. Sometimes life is just shifting. Sometimes you're shifting. And that's not a bad thing. So the takeaway for this episode is, if the energy feels off, don't rush to label it. Check in first. Pay attention. Look for patterns. Give yourself space to feel it without forcing an explanation. Because sometimes the energy isn't wrong. Sometimes it's just changing. Thank you for listening to Breathe and Unpack. If today's episode sparks something in you, share it with a friend, family member, or someone you think could use the conversation. You never know, it might be exactly what they need to hear. I'd also love to hear from you. Email me at breathe, the letter N, unpack@gmail.com. Again, that's breathe, the letter N for Nancy, unpack@gmail.com. Or connect with me on Instagram at breathe, AND, unpack. Whether it's your story, your takeaway, or just a thought you want to get off your chest, this space is for all of us. And just a reminder, This podcast isn't therapy or professional advice. I'm learning and growing right alongside you. These are real conversations meant to spark reflection and support, not replace the help of a professional. We're building the support system together. One breath, one story, one moment at a time. Until next time, take a breath, lean in, and let's keep unpacking.